Let's continue this lesson about common factor doing a couple of more complicated problems, starting with this one on the screen. As usual, the first step is we need parentheses because the common factor goes in the outside, the remaining goes in the inside of the parentheses. This problem is very similar to the last problem we did in the previous video because we still have the 2x squared and the 4x, meaning a 2 is a common factor and an x is a common factor because they are both divisible by 2 and they both have at least one x. But there is a third common factor. Not only we have the 2 and the x, we also have the negative because both of these terms have a negative. So yes, negatives can be common factors. So we can take the negative to the outside as another common factor. And remember, every single time that we take a common factor, what we have to do is divide each of the terms in the equation or the expression by the common factor. So we need to divide negative 2x squared divided by negative 2x. So we can review the rules of exponents and signs. And based on these rules, we know that we're just going to be left with x, especially because negative cancels with the negative. And then we also need to divide the negative 4x by negative 2x. The negatives cancel. 4 divided by 2 is 2. The x's cancel. So this is positive 2. So after taking our common factors, this is how our expression looks like. Negative 2x multiplying the parentheses of x plus 2. What if we have more than two terms? What if we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? The idea is the same. First of all, we need a parenthesis. And second, we need to find numbers, letters, expression, terms, variables, something. But all of them must have it in common. All of the terms in the expression or the equation must have the common factor that we are looking for, that we're stating. So in this case, all of them have an x, at least one x. The first one has an x to the 4, then we have an x to the 3, then we have an x squared. Which of the x's we take? We always take the x with the smallest exponent. So because x squared is the smallest exponent, we take an x squared out of each one of these terms. But after we look at the x's, or the variables, we now also need to look at the numbers and see if they have something in common. Well, we cannot divide everything by 6, 15, or 21, but we need to find the number we can divide all of them by. And in this case, 6 is divisible by 3, 15 is divisible by 3, 21 is divisible by 3. So we can take a 3 out of each of them. So our common factor is 3x squared, and that's what it goes outside of the parentheses. Now, to figure out what do we write inside of the parentheses, we need to divide each one of these terms by that common factor, starting 6x to the power of 4 divided by 3x squared. The 6 and the 3, that's equal to 2. X to the power of 4 divided by x to the power of 2. Remember, you can review lesson 2.3 of basic algebra. This is division of exponents. We just subtract exponents. 4 minus 2 is 2. So this is 2x squared. Then we move on to the next one. 15x to the power of 3 divided by 3x squared. 15 divided by 3 is 5. X to the power of 3 divided by x to the power of 2 is just x. And because this one is negative, we have to keep the negative. And finally, the 21 divided by 3 is 7. X squared with x squared cancels. So we just get the 7. And in this situation, once we take the common factor, this is our remaining expression. 3x squared multiplying the parentheses of 2x squared minus 5x plus 7.